The Frozen Outcast. The morning shift bells echoed through New Haven Station's market district as workers flooded the platform, their boots clanging against metal grates. Steam rose from food vendors' carts, mixing with the acrid smell of machinery oil and recycled air. The crowd moved like a river around a single obstacle, creating a circle of empty space that no one dared cross. Arya stood motionless in the center of that void. Her purple skin seemed to glow under the harsh industrial lights, making her even more visible, even more vulnerable. She had nothing, no clothes to shield her from the cold air that bit into her flesh, no dignity left after what they'd done. Her arms crossed tightly over her chest, hands gripping her own shoulders until her knuckles turned pale violet. "Look at the freak," someone called out, laughter rippling through nearby workers. An empty container hit the ground near her feet, then another. She didn't flinch, didn't move. If she moved, they'd chase her. If she ran, they'd hunt her, so she stood like a statue, her white hair falling across her face, hiding the tears that threatened to spill. Her legs trembled, the station's artificial gravity felt wrong on her body, too heavy, too constant. Back on her world, the pull was gentler, everything here felt designed to crush her, the cold metal beneath her bare feet, the stares that stripped away what little remained of her spirit, the whispers that cut deeper than any blade. Dr. Chen had been walking the same route for 3 years. Every morning, he passed through the market district on his way to the xenobiology research facility. He knew every vendor, every shortcut, every sound, but today, the crowd's rhythm felt different, wrong. He looked up from his data pad and saw her. His stomach dropped, rage flooded through him so fast it left him breathless, not at her, never at her, at them, at every person who walked past with their eyes carefully averted, at the ones who laughed, at the system that allowed this to happen. He pushed through the crowd without hesitation, his heavy research coat swung open as he moved. When he reached the edge of the circle, he didn't pause to consider the consequences, he simply acted. "Hey," he said firmly, his voice cutting through the noise. Arya's head snapped up, fear filled her golden eyes. She braced for another attack, another humiliation. Instead, Dr. Chen shrugged off his coat in one fluid motion. The thick fabric, still warm from his body, settled over her shoulders as he wrapped it around her from the front. His movements were quick but careful, never touching her skin, only the coat. "Put your arms through the sleeves," he said quietly, his dark eyes holding hers with steady compassion. Her hands shook as she obeyed. The coat swallowed her small frame, falling past her knees. She clutched the front edges together, feeling warmth for the first time in days. "Can you walk?" he asked. She nodded, not trusting her voice. "Stay close to me," Dr. Chen said, positioning himself between her and the crowd. "We're leaving." He didn't ask permission, didn't wait for questions, he simply started walking, and she followed, her bare feet padding softly behind his boots. The crowd parted for him, whether from respect for his position or fear of confrontation. She didn't know, she didn't care. They reached the residential sector transport in silence. Dr. Chen kept glancing back to make sure she hadn't fallen behind. Each time their eyes met, Arya felt something shift inside her chest, something that felt dangerously like hope. The transport pod doors slid open with a soft hiss. He stepped inside first, then turned back, extending his hand to her, not demanding, not grabbing, just offering. Arya stared at that hand for a long moment. She'd been hurt by so many humans, why should this one be different? But the coat around her shoulders whispered a different truth. She placed her trembling hand in his grip was warm, steady, strong. "I'm Dr. Chen," he said as the doors closed, "you're safe now." And somehow, standing in that transport pod wearing a stranger's coat, Arya believed him. Warmth and walls. The apartment door slid open with a quiet hiss, revealing a space that felt impossibly clean to Arya. Soft amber lighting bathed the room in warmth. A large window stretched across one wall, showing the swirling nebula beyond the station's edge. She'd never seen anything so beautiful. "Come in," Dr. Chen said gently, stepping aside. She hesitated at the threshold, still clutching his coat around her body. Everything looked too perfect, too organized, like a place where broken things didn't belong. "It's okay," he assured her, reading the fear in her eyes. "No one else is here, just you and me." Arya took a tentative step inside. The floor was warm beneath her feet, not the biting cold of metal grates, but genuine warmth. Her legs nearly gave out from the relief of it. Dr. Chen caught her elbow, steadying her without gripping too tight. "Let's get you sitting down," he said, guiding her to a soft couch near the window. She sank into the cushions, her body finally releasing the tension it had held for so long. The coat fell open slightly, and she quickly pulled it closed again, shame flooding her cheeks with darker purple. "I'll get you something to wear," Dr. Chen said, already moving toward another room, "and then food, you must be starving." He returned moments later with a bundle of clothes, a loose gray shirt, soft pants with a drawstring waist, and a dark sweater. He set them on the couch beside her and immediately turned his back, giving her privacy. "Take your time," he said, facing the window, "I'll start preparing something for you to eat." Arya dressed quickly, her fingers fumbling with the unfamiliar fabric. Everything was too big, but it was clean and soft and hers for the moment. When she was covered, she cleared her throat softly. Dr. Chen turned around, his expression carefully neutral. "Better?" "Yes," she whispered, "thank you." He moved into the small kitchen area, pulling ingredients from various compartments. Arya watched him work, fascinated by his efficiency. Every movement had purpose. His hands, she noticed, were careful hands, steady and precise. "Where are you from?" he asked as he chopped vegetables. "Your species, I mean, I've studied xenobiology for 15 years, but I don't recognize your physiology." "Talvaran," she said quietly, "a moon in the outer colonies. Our ship was attacked during evacuation, the escape pod scattered, I don't know where the others landed." His knife stilled for a moment. "How long have you been alone?" 3 weeks, Arya's voice cracked. "Maybe 4, time feels different here." Dr. Chen set down the knife and turned to face her fully. 3 weeks on New Haven station with no registration, no protection. He shook his head, anger tightening his jaw. "The system failed you completely." "The system doesn't care about aliens," she said bitterly, "especially ones who arrive without proper documentation." "I care," he said simply, and the weight of those words settled over her like a blanket. He brought her a bowl of soup, something with vegetables and protein synthesized to be compatible with most physiologies. She ate slowly, savoring each bite. Her body responded with desperate gratitude, warming from the inside out. Dr. Chen sat across from her, sipping tea and watching her with those steady dark eyes. "You can stay here," he said, "as long as you need. I have space, and you need safety." "You don't even know me," Arya protested weakly. "I know you've survived something terrible," he replied. "I know you deserve better than what this station has given you. That's enough." Tears finally spilled down her cheeks. She couldn't stop them, didn't try. Dr. Chen handed her a soft cloth without comment, letting her cry without shame. When the tears subsided, she found him still there, still patient, still kind. "Why?" she asked, "why help me when everyone else just walked past?" He was quiet for a moment, considering his answer. "Because I couldn't live with myself if I didn't," he finally said. "Some things are more important than convenience or safety. You're one of those things." Arya felt something crack open inside her chest, something she'd thought was permanently sealed, her heart, maybe, or hope, or the possibility that not all humans were cruel. "I need to examine your injuries," Dr. Chen said, standing. "I'm a doctor, among other things, I promise to be professional." She nodded, trusting him despite every instinct screaming otherwise. His hands were gentle as he checked the bruises, his touch clinical but never cold. He worked in silence, applying healing gel to the worst marks. His fingers brushed against her skin, and Arya felt warmth spread through her that had nothing to do with medicine. "You're going to heal," he said softly, "all of this will fade." When he reached to examine a bruise near her collarbone, their faces were suddenly very close. Arya's breath caught. She could see flecks of gold in his brown eyes, could smell the clean scent of his skin. Dr. Chen froze, awareness flickering across his features. The professional distance wavered for just a moment. "Your hair," he said quietly, "it's tangled, would you like help?" Arya nodded, unable to speak. He retrieved a brush and sat behind her on the couch. His fingers worked through her white hair with infinite patience, starting at the ends and working upward. Each gentle pull sent shivers down her spine. "You have beautiful hair," he murmured, almost to himself. Arya closed her eyes, letting herself feel safe, feel cared for, feel something that might become dangerous if she wasn't careful. But maybe, she thought, maybe danger was worth it. The Hunter's Shadow. 3 days had passed since Dr. Chen brought Arya home, and the apartment had transformed into something that felt almost like sanctuary. She moved through the space with increasing confidence, learning where he kept the tea, how to adjust the window opacity, the rhythm of his routines. Each morning, he left for the research facility before dawn, always leaving her breakfast prepared, always checking that she had everything she needed. Each evening, he returned with that same steady presence that made her feel grounded. But tonight felt different. Arya was preparing dinner, attempting to replicate a dish from her homeworld using station ingredients. When the door chime rang, she froze, her purple hands hovering over the cutting board. Dr. Chen emerged from his study, tension immediately visible in his shoulders. "Hide," he said quietly, urgently, "the bedroom, now." She didn't question him, didn't hesitate. She grabbed the cutting board and knife, erasing evidence of a second person, and slipped into the bedroom, the door sealed behind her with a soft click. Through the thin walls, she heard the main door open. "Cooper," Dr. Chen's voice was carefully neutral, "what brings station security to my door?" "Routine inspection," a gruff voice replied. "We've had reports of unusual energy consumption in this sector. Mind if I look around?" Arya pressed herself against the bedroom wall, her heart hammering so loud she was certain they could hear it. She held her breath as heavy footsteps moved through the main room. "You living alone, Doc?" Cooper asked, suspicion threading through his words. "Yes," Dr. Chen said smoothly, "just me and my research. Why do you ask?" "Double the food waste this week," Cooper said, "clothing sizes that don't match your frame in the recycler, water usage up 40%. Arya's blood ran cold. She'd been so careful, but apparently not careful enough. "I've been stress eating," Dr. Chen said with a dry laugh. "The director has been pushing for faster results. As for the clothes, I bought new workout gear that didn't fit, and the water, well, longer showers help me think." Silence stretched for several agonizing seconds. "Your bedroom door's closed," Cooper observed. "I keep it climate-controlled differently," Dr. Chen replied. "My research notes are sensitive to temperature fluctuations. I work in there sometimes." "Mind if I check?" Arya's hands trembled. She looked around desperately for somewhere to hide. The closet was too obvious, the bathroom had no lock, she was trapped. "Actually, I do mind," Dr. Chen's voice hardened, "unless you have a warrant. My private spaces remain private, Station Regulation 47B. Another long silence. Arya could picture Cooper weighing his options, deciding whether to push. "Fine," Cooper finally said, "but I'll be watching, Doc. If you're hiding something, anything, I'll find out." "I'm sure you will," Dr. Chen said, opening the door. "Have a pleasant evening, officer." The door sealed. Arya didn't move until she heard Dr. Chen's footsteps approach. The bedroom door opened, and she collapsed against him, her legs finally giving out. He caught her, arms wrapping around her trembling body. "It's okay," he murmured into her hair, "he's gone, you're safe." "I'm not safe," she said, her voice breaking. "You're not safe, not while I'm here. I'm putting you in danger." Dr. Chen pulled back, cupping her face in his hands. His thumbs brushed away tears she hadn't realized were falling. "Listen to me," he said firmly. "I made a choice 3 days ago. I don't regret it, I won't regret it. But your career, your life, mean nothing if I can't use them to help people who need it." He interrupted. "You think I don't understand the risk? I'm a xenobiologist, Arya. I've spent my entire life studying beings like you, learning about your cultures, your physiologies, your rights, and then I watched our system treat you like garbage." His intensity took her breath away. His hands were still on her face, warm and solid, his eyes burned with conviction. "I'm not letting them take you," he said quietly. "I'm not letting them hurt you again." Arya's hands came up to cover his, her purple fingers intertwining with his darker ones. "Why do you care so much?" she whispered. Something shifted in his expression, the professional distance he'd maintained crumbled. "Because," he said, his voice rough, "because when I look at you, I see someone extraordinary, someone brave and strong and beautiful, and I He stopped himself, uncertainty flickering across his features. You what? Arya prompted, her heart racing for entirely different reasons now. Dr. Chen's thumb traced her cheekbone. I feel things I shouldn't feel, he admitted, things that complicate everything, things that probably make me a terrible person for thinking them when you're vulnerable and dependent on me. What if I feel them too? She asked, her voice barely audible. His breath caught Arya. She rose on her toes, closing the distance between them, her lips brushed against his, tentative, questioning. For one heartbeat, he remained frozen, then his restraint shattered. Dr. Chen kissed her back with a hunger that spoke of days spent holding back, his hands slid into her hair, pulling her closer. Arya melted against him, her body fitting perfectly against his, every place they touched ignited something fierce and desperate inside her. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Dr. Chen rested his forehead against hers. This is complicated, he said. I know, Arya replied. Cooper will be back. I know. We might have to run. I know, she said again, then smiled, but right now, I don't care. He laughed softly, the sound vibrating through both their bodies. You're going to be the end of me. Or the beginning, she countered, pulling him down for another kiss. Outside the window, the nebula swirled with colors that matched the emotions burning between them, and somewhere on the station, Cooper sat in his office, reviewing surveillance footage, his suspicions growing darker with each passing frame. The choice between hearts. Morning light filtered through the apartment windows as Arya woke wrapped in Dr. Chen's arms. She'd spent the night curled against his chest, listening to his heartbeat, feeling safer than she'd ever felt in her life. A sharp knock shattered the peace. Dr. Chen tensed immediately. Stay here, he whispered, kissing her forehead before sliding out of bed. Arya pulled on his shirt and pressed her ear to the bedroom door, her stomach twisted with fear. Kai, Dr. Chen's voice held surprise and relief. It's early. We need to talk, a new voice responded, younger, urgent, about your houseguest. Arya's breath stopped. Dr. Chen had been so careful, how did his colleague know? I saw the security reports, Kai continued. Cooper's building a case against you, Chen. He knows you're hiding someone, he just needs proof. Come in, Dr. Chen said quietly. Arya heard the door seal, then footsteps. I can help, Kai said. There's a transport leaving for the refuge colonies in 2 days. I have connections, I can get her documentation, get her somewhere safe. She'd have to leave, Dr. Chen said, his voice hollow. Yes, Kai replied gently, and you'd have to let her go. Silence stretched between them. Arya's heart cracked with each passing second. Let me talk to her, Dr. Chen finally said. He found her standing in the bedroom doorway, tears already streaming down her purple cheeks. She'd heard everything. Arya, he started, but she shook her head. I should go, she whispered, you've risked enough for me. Is that what you want? He asked, crossing to her, to leave. No, she admitted, her voice breaking, but I can't let them destroy you. Dr. Chen pulled her close, his hand cradling the back of her head. 2 days, he said, we have 2 days to decide. They spent those days tangled together, memorizing each other. Every touch felt precious, every kiss tasted of desperation and goodbye. On their final night, Dr. Chen made love to her with aching tenderness. His hands mapped every curve of her purple skin, his lips whispered promises against her throat. Arya clung to him, committing every sensation to memory. I love you, she breathed as pleasure overwhelmed them both. I love you, he echoed, his voice raw with emotion. Afterward, they lay intertwined, neither willing to sleep and waste their remaining hours. Come with me, Arya suddenly said, to the colonies. Dr. Chen's hand stilled on her back. I can't, he said, pain evident in every word. My research, my life, it's all here. And I'm nothing? She asked, immediately regretting the words. You're everything, he said fiercely, tilting her face up to his. That's the problem, you're everything, and I'm being selfish keeping you here when staying could get you killed. A loud bang on the door made them both freeze. Dr. Chen, open up, Cooper's voice boomed through the apartment. I have a warrant. The dawn of tomorrow. Dr. Chen and Arya scrambled into their clothes as the door mechanism began overriding. They had seconds. The fire escape, Dr. Chen said, grabbing her hand. They ran through the apartment as the main door burst open. Cooper and 3 security officers flooded inside. "Stop," Cooper shouted. But Dr. Chen was already at the window, yanking it open. The fire escape stretched down the station's exterior. Arya didn't hesitate, she climbed out, Dr. Chen right behind her. They descended rapidly, their feet clanging against metal grates. Above them, security officers appeared at the window. "The transport bay," Dr. Chen panted, "Kai's waiting." They ran through maintenance corridors, dodging workers and cargo drones. Arya's lungs burned, her purple skin gleamed with sweat, but Dr. Chen's hand in hers kept her moving forward. They burst into the transport bay. Kai waved frantically from a small cargo ship. "Hurry," he shouted. They were 50 meters from safety when Cooper stepped out from behind a cargo container. His weapon was drawn. "End of the line, Doc," he said. Dr. Chen stepped in front of Arya, shielding her. "Let her go," he said. "I'll take full responsibility, I'll face whatever charges you want, just let her reach that ship." "Not happening," Cooper said, "she's unregistered contraband, and you're under arrest for harboring an illegal alien." Actually, a new voice cut through the tension, cold and commanding, "She's not." A woman in a commander's uniform strode into the bay, her insignia marking her as station authority. Behind her walked a tall figure in diplomatic robes. "Ambassador Theron," Arya gasped, recognition flooding her face. The robed figure approached, pulling back his hood to reveal purple skin similar to Arya's. "Arya of House Talvarin," he said formally, "your family has been searching for you for weeks." Cooper's weapon lowered slightly, confusion replacing certainty. "This young woman," the ambassador continued, "is not a refugee. She is the daughter of Talvarin's High Council, lost during the colony evacuation. Her presence here is protected under diplomatic immunity." "Why didn't she say anything?" Cooper demanded. "Because I didn't remember," Arya said quietly, stepping forward. "The crash, the trauma, I had partial amnesia, I only knew I needed to survive." The station commander fixed Cooper with a hard stare. "You attempted to arrest a diplomatic citizen without proper verification," she said. "That's a serious breach of protocol, officer." Cooper's face reddened, but he holstered his weapon. Ambassador Theron turned to Dr. Chen. "And you, doctor, protected my council member's daughter when our own people failed to find her. Talvarin owes you a debt." Dr. Chen barely heard him, his eyes were locked on Arya, questions and hope warring in his expression. "I'm free," Arya said, tears streaming down her face. "I'm documented, I'm legal, I can stay." "Can you?" Dr. Chen asked, his voice thick with emotion. "Your people, your family, they'll want you home." Arya looked at the ambassador. "I want to stay," she said firmly, "on New Haven Station, with Dr. Chen." The ambassador smiled. "The council will respect your wishes," he said, "though they will want to visit." Cooper stalked away, defeated and humiliated. The commander followed, leaving them with Kai and the ambassador. Dr. Chen pulled Arya into his arms, holding her like he'd never let go. "You're staying," he said, disbelief and joy mixing in his voice. "I'm staying," she confirmed, "if you'll have me." "Forever," he promised, kissing her deeply. Kai cleared his throat awkwardly. "So I guess you won't be needing that transport." They laughed, the sound bright with relief and happiness. 2 weeks later, Arya stood in Dr. Chen's apartment, now officially their apartment. The ambassador had secured her work authorization. She'd started helping at the xenobiology facility, translating research, building bridges between species. Dr. Chen came up behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist as they looked out at the nebula. "Happy?" he asked. Arya leaned back against him, her purple hand covering his. "More than I ever thought possible," she said. "Good," he murmured, pressing a kiss to her neck, "because you're stuck with me now." "Promise?" she asked, turning in his arms. "Promise," he said, sealing it with a kiss. Outside, the station hummed with life, humans and aliens passing each other in corridors, building something new together, and in that small apartment overlooking the stars, two hearts that had found each other against impossible odds beat as one. The bridge between their worlds had been built, not with politics or treaties, but with compassion, courage, and love. The end.